Good morning, all of you. Welcome back to the video of class 7th computer. In this video, firstly, we will see the content. Particularly, we will see what are all the chapters that are going to come in your annual examination, and then we will start chapter number 9. Okay, so you see this is the first page, that is a content. So over here, chapter number 6 and chapter number 8 you have already covered. They both have came in your unit test second examination, right? Now ninth and 10th and this one 7th one we are going to complete right now. Okay, so at a total in your exam you will be getting these 5 chapters. Chapter number 6 and chapter number 8 we have completed. About chapter number 9 I'm going to start today. Okay, so let us have a view of page number 92, important functions in C++. And yes, one thing more, chapter number 11 you cut down, it is not going to come in your exam, it is not in the syllabus. Okay, so page number 92 you open. Over here the chapter's name is important functions in C++. Now from this chapter we are going to learn a very bit about coding part. Okay, we will learn about C++ in your 7th class and somehow in your 8th class, and from 8th class itself your Java will start. Okay, and you have to understand this programming language. So firstly we will see about C++. Near about the concepts will be the same for all these programming languages. So in introduction you see C++ is a high level programming language. It can handle large programs to meet the growing software requirements. Now you see C++ is a high level programming language. It means what? It means when we are going to write down our statements in C++, we can write down in our simple English language. Okay, that is the meaning of high level programming language, means human readable form it is. Now, it can easily handle large programs to meet the growing software requirements. So when we are making our softwares, when we are designing our softwares, at that time, we are going to make use of such kind of languages. Over here in your class, you will not just make the software. We are going to learn very simple concept. Only the terms we are going to learn in this chapter. In 10th chapter, we will see some simple programs. Okay, so over here in this chapter we will learn about main 4 functions. Those are your variables, constants, data types, operators. About these operators, some of the portion you have already studied in your that Excel, when you were learning about Excel. Near about things are seen, yes, yet some additional points are there, we will see. So the first one is your variable. Let's see what it is. Variable is particularly when you are storing something. Okay, when you are storing something, then some value, then that value should have a name, and that name we call it as a variable. Okay, let's say you are having a value 100 and you want to store that 100 into your memory, into your computer memory. तो आप इसको एक memory में store तो कर दोगे. Now after that you have to give one name to that part. Okay, so you are just naming it, let's say x. So when you just call x, then it means you are just calling out the value 100. Okay, and a variable means it is a name only. This is a variable x, it is a name only, and it can have different values. Okay, right now it is having 100. After some time I have changed this value, I made it 1000. Okay, so like that you can always change the value of the variables. Now you see, the named location in the memory which is used to hold a value that can be used by different part of the program is known as a variable. Okay, we are going to store a value so that we can use that value in different part of the program, right? That is known as your variable. The value of the variable can be changed during the execution of the program. Now while you are executing your program, always you can change your value. It is not compulsory that if you have just saved a equal to 10, then throughout the execution means जब तक आपका program run करेगा तब तक your value is 10. It doesn't mean like that. It means for an instance of time your value is 10. After another instance it will be changed to some other value. The same thing is given over here. अभी यहाँ पर आपके पास a की value is 10. After some time what happened, you have changed the value to 20. So previously a was holding 10, right now a is holding 20. So that is why we can say that variable can be changed during the execution of the program. Okay, and when you are going to store the next value, it means previous value वहाँ से चली जाएगी. Okay, now firstly, whenever we want to use a variable, then before that we have to declare it as well. Declaration means firstly we need to define that what kind of data we are going to put into it. Okay, let's say we are having a memory. We are going to store 10. So 10 is an integer now. So firstly we have to specify what kind of data we are going to store over there. Okay, let's say A I need to store. A is a letter, right? So like that we'll define. You'll understand when we'll move further in the chapter. So for naming our variable, we are having different rules. So number of rules are provided over here. See the first rule. Either small or capital letters can be used for naming variables. Okay, it means either you can use small case letters or you can use capital case letter. However, C++ is a case sensitive. Now case sensitive means what? Small letters and your capital letters both are different. Okay, it means both are different. Example also they have given capital ABC and small ABC. Although you read both of them as ABC equal to 10, but still for your computer both are different. Okay, this is capital ABC and this is small ABC. So both are different for your computer. That is why we can say that C++ is your case sensitive language. Now the second rules for naming variable is first character of the variable must be an alphabet or an underscore. अब underscore क्या होता है? This is something called as underscore. Okay, don't use like this. This is hyphen. A B. Don't use this one. This is not an underscore. A underscore like this and B. This is valid. This is not valid. Okay, so first character we are talking about, let's say you have stored num equal to 10. Okay, so we are talking about this variable and we are talking about the first letter, and it is saying that first letter either it should be an alphabet or it should be an underscore. If you have written like this 01 num, then it is invalid because it is not starting with either alphabet or underscore. That is why it is invalid. Okay, third rule states digits from 0 to 9 can be used, but a variable name cannot start with these digits. Okay, you can use these kind of digits in between, but you cannot start the name of the variable from it. Okay, now fourth one, no spaces are allowed between a variable name. We cannot just add on the spaces. Likewise over here they have given basic space salary. So basic and salary के बीच में we are having a space and that is not acceptable. Okay, so you should not just write down space between these two variable names. Then the next one, no symbol like plus, minus, multiply, divide, modulus, ampersand, and all these can be used. So you don't have to use all these symbols. Only underscore is valid. Rest of the things are invalid. Clearly they are invalid. Okay, so they have given example also. Basic underscore salary is valid, but basic hash salary is invalid. Okay, now next one states variable name can be as long as you like, but only the first two characters will be recognized. We are not having any limitations that like 100 or 5 or 10 letters only you can use for naming a variable. There is no limitation with that. Okay, but only first two characters will be read out by your compiler. Last one is predefined keywords of C++ cannot be used as a variable name. It means what? We are having some of the predefined variables, means already some variables are fixed, those who are having fixed meaning. Okay, and that fixed words you cannot use for naming your variable because they already have a specified meaning, right? That is why you cannot use predefined keywords. Now about those keywords, at the end of this chapter I'll give you a list of the keywords. From that you can just identify. So over here are these 7 rules that you have to follow. Now after that we are having some invalid variable name. We are having the reason why they are invalid and how we are going to make them valid. We are having examples as well. Now you see the first one, student name. We have studied that space are not allowed, right? Space should not be there, so we can use this one, underscore we can use. Now in the second one you see a comma b comma c. Now over here comma we have used and space also we have used and both of the things are invalid. This is a valid variable name. Third one is class. Class is actually a keyword of C++. Okay, it is a keyword, you have to learn it by heart, that class is a keyword of C++ and you cannot use it for naming a variable. Either you include any other letter, or after this class you can include any other digit also to make it a valid one. The last one you see 567 ABC. The first thing, it is starting with a digit, and the next thing is it is having a space between, and both of the things are invalid. Okay, so these are invalid variable name. Now the question may come ki identify what are invalid and what are invalid variable name, and state the reasons for invalid one. Like this question you can get. Okay, so prepare accordingly. This is about the first function, that is variable. Now coming towards the second function, that is your constants. Now, in variables, we have studied that we are storing one value, and throughout the execution of the program, we can just change the value. In constant, we cannot change that value. Okay, value, it means if you are storing one value, it is fixed. Throughout the execution of the program, you cannot change the value of that part. Okay, now see, the data items whose value do not change during the execution of the program are known as constant. They are declared by using a keyword const. Now you see two keywords we have studied. First is class, second is const. Okay, now what you have to do, you just have to include this const before your variable name. Okay, just forget about this int and float. Income equal to 5000, you understand what it is doing. Now const we just have to include it over here. ठीक है, const हमें include करना पड़ता है. It means now income equal to 5000 is a constant one. You cannot change the value of income in your program. Okay, that is the meaning of this part. Now next function we are having are of data types. In data types, actually we are going to understand about these things, what are int, float and all those things. Okay, so we are going to learn in this one. So previously when we were learning about these variables, we are having one line. Let's revise that part. We are having a variable must be declared before it is used, and I told you that we should define what kind of value a variable is going to hold. है ना. Now how it is going to how it is going to be declared, how it is going to tell the computer that okay fine, I'm going to take one number, or I'm going to take a letter or a digit or etc etc, right? So for that kind of purpose we are using our data type. Now you see, data type में क्या होता है, in C++ a variable is declared before it can be used. Variable declaration specifies the type of information where the value will be stored. Means variable you are storing, like let's say a you are having and you are storing 10. It means a number you are storing. If you are storing a, it means a letter you are storing. Okay, so firstly you must specify what kind of data your variable is going to hold. Now, a set of possible variety of values a variable can hold is defined as data type, right? Means if it is going to hold out your numbers, okay, your numbers, if it is going to hold out, then different category we are having. Okay, if you are having letters, then different category. If you are having digits, different category. If you are having fraction part, different category. So all these categories are defined by your data types. Okay, now we are having three particular types of data types. Those are, first one is int. Int comes from your integer. Okay, now it stores whole number between the range this to this. Now it is going to store your numbers, and these are the ranges. So from -3 to 7682 plus 3 to 767, your numbers are going to be hold. Okay, it does not include fractional numbers. It occupies a memory space of 2 bytes. Okay, 2 bytes का वो memory space आपका ले लेता है. Now in the first chapter I told you, not in the first exactly, I think in the second one, I told you about the relationship between bits and bytes and record database. All these things we have studied previously. So 1 byte means you are having 8 bits. Okay, and 2 byte means you are having 16 bits. So at a total 2 byte your integer is going to hold. और वो क्या करेगा, आपके पास रेंज दी हुई है, इन रेंज में से जितने भी आपके इस रेंज के नंबर्स को वो स्टोर कर सकता है. ओके, योर इंटीजर कैन नॉट स्टोर 15.5. why? Because it is a decimal quantity. It is going to hold only integer part. Fine. Now second one is your character. Character is used to store alphabet as well as digit. It also includes spatial character. It is enclosed in single code. It occupies memory space of 1 byte. Now what is the speciality with this char is that only you have to enclose in it in your single quote. ओके बस एक सिंगल कोट में इनक्लोज करना है. अब उसके अंदर यू कैन यूज स्पेशल कैरेक्टर, यू कैन यूज दीज लेटर्स, यू कैन यूज डिजिट्स, वट एवर यू वॉन्ट you can do it. Okay, and it is going to occupy a memory space of your 1 byte. Fine. Now if you are just taking this xyz equal to a, it means you should enclose it in your single quote. Okay, if I'm writing out 1, then in single quote 1 I'm writing out. It means only one digit or one letter or one special character I can use. I cannot use something like 1 2 3. It is invalid. Okay, only one character, one digit, one special character we can hold it in character value. Okay, this is your second data type. Third one is float. It specifies a fractional number. It occupies memory space of 4 bytes. So fractional part, it is going to hold it out. You are going to write down this float keyword. It is also a keyword. Okay, float, char, int, all these are also the keyword. So examples you are having decimals numbers, and decimal obviously positive and negative numbers, fractional numbers. So obviously this float is going to hold your decimal parts. Right, now we have studied about three types of data types. Those are your integer, character, and your float data type, and they both are differ in their sizes. Integer stores 2 byte, character store 1 byte, and float stores 4 byte. Okay, keep that thing in your mind. Now, do you know portion is important over here? It is saying commas are not allowed in float or int values. Now, what is the meaning of this part is that see this example. Float x equal to 10, comma 14.56. Okay, so these commas are not allowed. In place of this one, you can write down x equal to 1014.56. So without these commas, you have to write down the quantity, only the numerical quantity it is going to ask you for. Okay, so these are about the three data types. So three functions we have studied. Firstly, we have studied about variables. Then we have studied about your constants. Thirdly, we have studied about your data types. And now we are going to move on to our operators. That is the fourth function. Operators you have already studied, that is a spatial symbol which is used to perform some spatial operation between two operands. Now you see, it is an example. A plus B. Over here operands means जो आपके जिन पर आपका ऑपरेशन हो रहा होता है, right, means your values, your variables. So over here A and B are your operands, and the operator means what kind of operation you are going to carry out. Okay, so you are going to do the sum. That means plus is the operator. Fine, plus is the operator and AB are your operands. Now, in your Excel, you have studied that operators are of three types: arithmetic one, logical one, relational one. Only three you have studied. Over here, we are going to study the fourth one also, that is your assignment operator. Fine. So, quickly we are moving to our arithmetic operator. See, arithmetic operators are the same that you are using in Excel. Plus going to add two numbers, minus going to subtract two numbers, going to multiply two numbers. Amongst these two, you guys are having the confusion. Okay, so divide and modulus. So let's see, divide is going to give you the question part, and modulus is going to give you the remainder part. Okay, now let's say we are having a key value 10. Let's say we are having b key value as let's say 6 we are having. Okay, so when a divided by b means 10, you are going to divide it by 6. Then what will happen? One quotient and 4 remainder you are getting. So if you just write down a divided by b, then you will be getting the question part, that is 1. If you are writing out a modulus b, it means you are targeting to your remainder part and you will be getting 4. Okay, don't just use decimal function and don't just write down the fractional part over there, and that is not acceptable. Fine, so find out some question, find out some remainder, and accordingly you just fill out the values. These are about your arithmetic operators. Now about your relational operators, see again we are having the comparison of two quantities, and relational and your logical operators both are going to give you either true or false value. Okay, now like this, we are having less than symbol, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, equal to, equal to, and not equal to. Now rest of the things are same. You just see this equal to, what does it mean? In maths, if you are going to say x equal to y, it means what? The value of x and y are same, right? But over here in your computer, in your programming language, if you are going to compare two values, then at that time you have to write down x double equal to y. Okay, it means this double equal to is going to act the same way your single equal to is going to is acting in your maths. Okay, so if x is equal to y, then it is going to give you true, otherwise it is going to give you false. Now these are all your relational operators. Coming towards your logical operators, logicals are also the same. We are having logical and, logical or, logical not. Remember I told you about the truth table as well. When I was teaching you Excel, at that time I told you about the truth table, and I gave you one truth table as well. So, and it is going to give you true if both the conditions are true. Okay, it means you are having two conditions, condition number one, condition number two, and over here the result. फाइन, अगर कंडीशन वन भी ट्रू होती है, कंडीशन टू भी ट्रू होती है, देन ओनली यू आर गेटिंग रिजल्ट एज ट्रू, अदरवाइज रिजल्ट्स आर फॉल्स. About your logical or operation, again we are having two conditions, c1, c2, and result is over here. Or states, if c1 is true, then result will be true. If c2 is true, then also result will be true. And if both are true, it means obviously the result is true. So for getting the true condition, any of the two condition must be true. अगर कोई भी true हो जाती है तो result आपका true बन जाएगा. Okay, that is about logical or. About logical not, it means it is particularly your um, inverter. Fine, it means if you are having true, it is going to give you false. If you are having false, it is going to give you true. Now about the last one, your assignment operator. Assignment means you are assigning some kind of value. Okay, so if you are writing a equal to 5, it means what? The value 5 you are assigning to a variable a. Only this is the meaning of your assignment operator. Now over here you can get the question like, what is the difference between equal to and double equal to? Now what is the difference? It is your assignment operator, it is your relational operator. Okay, that is the difference. Now other assignment operators also we are having, like these ones. Okay, and these are known as your shorthand operator. Now what are those? We are having plus equal to. Firstly, it means if you are writing a plus equal to b, or you are writing a plus equal to 5, then it means a equal to a plus 5 you are having. Okay, you can expand it like that. Secondly, if you are having minus plus, then not minus plus, if you are having minus equal to, then let's say a minus equal to 5, then what will happen? A equal to a minus 5. So all these are your shorthand assignment operators. Fine. Now the last topic of this chapter, that is expression. Expression means if you are going to combine some your operand and your operator, तो आपका expression बन जाता है. Now we are having some examples of expressions, bundles of examples we are having. and अब आप इस expression को कैसे solve करोगे? You are going to find out that priority list that we have studied previously. Firstly, bracket will be solved, multiplication division from left to right, then plus minus from left to right. Okay, in Excel we are having that list. In Excel chapter you can find out that priority list. So according to that we are going to solve these expressions as well. Okay, this is a very short chapter and this is a very easy chapter. So we have just completed it today itself. Now we are having words to remember. So again I'm going to tell you that words to remember also you have to write down in your copy firstly. Now in the next video, firstly I'll tell you about the keywords. I'll give you some examples of the keywords, and then afterwards we'll handle our exercise portion. Okay, so this is for this video. Thank you so much.